Good morning. It's Monday, February 4th. I'm Karen Hamstra, and welcome to Title Talk. Just a few books to show you today. As you may recall from last week, the weather was kind of nasty, and the UPS man didn't come see us any too frequently here at the library. So we just did not receive a whole lot of new things. But I have some good ones for you. This is a new Code of Valor by Lynette Easton. It is part of her Blue Justice series, which deals with policemen. And I have actually read this book. I had an advanced reader copy of it, and it is a very good suspense book. It's about a detective named Brady St. John, whose family has insisted he go on a vacation, and when he tries to do just that, he meets up with a woman named Emily Chastain, who is running a free trade gift shop, and people all around her keep dying, and it becomes pretty obvious that she is the actual target of all these killings. And so Brady undertakes to find out who is trying to do this to her, and they're on the run a lot, and it's a good book. We have another one by Mike Chin called Here and Now and Then. It says, to save his daughter, he'll go anywhere, any when. Kind of a nice little rhyme. Ken Stewart is an everyday family man working in IT, trying to keep the spark in his marriage, struggling to connect with his teenage daughter Miranda, but his current life is a far cry from his previous career as a time-traveling secret agent from 2142. He has become stranded in suburban San Francisco in the 1990s, and he married and had a family, and he has pretty much, I think, forgotten about his future life. He has some memory blocks and blackouts, until one afternoon when his rescue team arrives 18 years too late, and they want to take him away from his current family. It's a science fiction book, but it really does sound like a fun read. Here's another suspense book. This one is by Greg Hurwitz, Out of the Dark. Greg Hurwitz has just had some fantastic books recently. People who recommend this book, authors, are David Baldacci and Lee Child. So if you are a fan of either one of those authors, you might enjoy this new Greg Hurwitz book. This one is about Evan Smoke, who is on target with his most impossible mission yet. He was taken from a group home at age 12 and raised and trained as part of the government's orphan program, an off-the-books assassins operation. Evan was Orphan X. Using everything he learned, he broke with the program and disappeared, reinventing himself as a man who helps the truly desperate. But now Evan's past is catching up with him. Everything Under by Daisy Johnson. Gretel grew up on a houseboat with her mother, wandering the canals and speaking a private language of their own invention until the day she disappeared and abandoned Gretel to foster care. Now a lexicographer, Gretel has tried to move on, but an unexpected phone call brings the past rushing back. To find her mother, Gretel must face buried memories of a fateful winter when they sheltered a runaway boy and were stalked by an ominous creature lurking in the water. Everything Under. Daisy Johnson. And our last fiction book of the day is called Healing Hearts by Sarah M. Eden. This is an historical fiction. It's also a romance. Wyoming Territory, 1876. As the only doctor in the frontier town of Savage Wells, Gideon McNamara knows his prospects for a bride are limited. The womenfolk in town are either too young, too old, or already spoken for. So, being a practical man, he decides to take advantage of the matchmaking service of the day, mail order brides, and sends away for a woman with nursing experience. Of course, she thinks she's coming to be a nurse and has no idea that he expects her to be his bride, and yada yada yada. You can guess how that comes and goes. Here is a new nonfiction book by Brad Meltzer, who also writes fiction. It is called The First Conspiracy, The Secret Plot to Kill George Washington. This book is located at 973.41092. Apparently some of Washington's security guards actually participated in a plot to kill him. Who knew that things were so rotten even back then? They were on the side of the British during the Revolution. If you like historical books, I think that one would be a really fine one to investigate. And last but not least, we have a new book by Kobe Bryant, the famous pro basketball player. It's called The Mamba Mentality: How I Play. It's a pretty large format book with all sorts of pictures that detail Kobe's philosophy of basketball and presumably of life. So that gives you a few titles to keep your eye on if you're stuck for something new to read. We hope you have a happy reading week, and I'll see you next week.